So Salman, there's been a lot of, on my channel of late, there's been a lot of talk about who punches harder, Manny Pacquiao or Errol Spence. I did a video saying that, you know what, Errol Spence has thudding power. He clubs you with big shots. But Pacquiao's somebody that, listen, Pacquiao's somebody that, you know, punches fairly hard. But you don't really see his punches coming, and he's very fast. He's throwing very quick combinations. He's throwing 3-4 punches, and he hits you with a lot of punches that you don't see. And that's what Chris Algieri said. He said the thing is with Manny Pacquiao, he hits you. You know, Manny Pacquiao's punches have that shock element. He goes, Spence's punches don't have that shock element. They're clubbing shots, but Pacquiao's punches have the shocking power, where they hit you and they shock you because he's so fast and he hits you. They always say in boxing, the punches that you get hit with that you don't see hurt the most, and the ones that knock you out. And I'm pretty sure Pacquiao's hitting a lot of guys with punches they don't see. What do you make of all this? Who hits harder, Pacquiao, Spence? Who do you think hits harder?
I personally think Pacquiao in his prime probably punched harder. I'll probably go for Spence now. But I personally feel Pacquiao 7-8 years ago punched a lot harder than what Spence does now. That's just my opinion. But right now, I think Spence, that's just my opinion.
Punching harder?
Yeah.
Well, you think Spence punches harder than Pacquiao?
Yeah.
I think Spence has more clubbing power, but I don't know whether, you know, I think the speed of Pacquiao can really hurt you, because it's not just the power, it's the speed. But Spence definitely is a bigger, stronger man, so he has the clubbing power.
Yeah, like Pacquiao has more. He has a different type of power. He has like that fast power, so it shocks you. Whereas Spence has that power that just, you know, like just raw power, like, you know, raw punching.
And muscular power.
Yeah.
But I think, listen, I made a video saying that, listen, although I think, you know, I don't know who punches harder. It's a tough one, because, you know, Pacquiao
styles, isn't it? It's not.
Pacquiao has knocked out many guys, and Spence has obviously knocked out many guys. But obviously his punching power was definitely questioned against Garcia, because he couldn't knock out a 135-pounder, a guy that was 2 weight categories below. So, you know, you have to question it. And even Pacquiao in recent years, apart from the Lucas Matisse fight, and look at the Broner fight, he's not been able to get guys out of there. You know, he's not been able to knock guys out.
So, to be honest, not many people have knocked Broner out. Broner's he's very defensive.
But just of late though, Pacquiao's not knocked a lot of guys out. He's been winning on points, and, you know, like, he almost had Jeff Horn out of there, but he couldn't finish the job. You know, Pacquiao of recent years has shown that his power has decreased. He's not as powerful. And Errol Spence was knocking everybody out and looking like a savage. But until this weekend, where, although it was a masterclass boxing performance by Errol Spence and he completely outboxed Mikey Garcia, you know, a lot of people were critical that he couldn't get a 135-pounder out there, and Mikey Garcia took all his punches, which obviously then questioned Errol Spence's punching power. So, you know, it's hard to say. But in terms of the fight, I actually don't think, if they were to fight, that any of them will knock each other out. I think it's a fight that probably goes to points either way. I don't think it's a fight which, you know, goes to points. Goes by knockout by either guy. What do you think?
No, I don't. I don't think so either. I think it'll probably go to points. I think they both got good chins. So you think that the fight goes to points? Yeah, that's what I think. I think the fight goes to points. I don't think either guy knocks either man out. And that's it really. But I think in terms of punching power, it's hard to say, because it's different styles. And I just think that, you know, Pacquiao has his combination punching. He stings you, he hits you, and he hurts you. And if he hurts you, he finishes the job with his fast hands. And I just think he has that stinging power. Whereas Spence has clubbing power, muscular power. He's obviously a lot bigger, stronger. He's a guy that, you know, comes down from 175 pounds. He walks around at, which he said on Undisputed, which is an American
chat show that he comes down. So obviously he has brute strength. And, you know, he has muscular power, which obviously he uses against these guys that are probably a lot smaller than him at welterweight. But like I said, I think both guys have power. Both guys have their strength. But I don't think either guy is a one-punch knockout guy. I think Manny Pacquiao in his prime, in his prom, was definitely a one-punch knockout guy. He proved it against Hatton, and he proved it many times that the guy could really crack. You know, I remember when he fought Cotto. Cotto looked like he had been hitting with a spade. And whereas I think, what's his name? Spence is more a guy that grinds you down, wears you down, and then knocks you out. I don't think Spence is a big one-punch knockout man, whereas I think Pacquiao definitely had the ability in his heyday to knock guys out with one punch. So it's definitely a fight which is really interests me, a fight that I would love to see. What do you think about Spence's punching power in terms of him grinding people down? He's more of a grinder. He grinds you down. He grinds you down and then takes you out.
Yeah, that's just his style. That's the way he fights. Pacquiao. So Pacquiao's got a different sort of power. Spence got a different sort of power. Even in the Mikey Garcia fight, Spence is the type of fighter that, you know, keeps working, got a good work rate. Look in the Kell Brook fight. He wins fights on work rate. He's got a very good work rate. He's got a good engine. That's why he wins fights. You know, he can also take it. He can take punishment and he can dish it out. And he's got a very good tank. And he's got a very good set of skills. In the last fight, it was just a boxing masterclass from him. I didn't think he was that good as a boxer, but he proved me wrong. But yeah, he really grinds down on his opponents. He doesn't let them, you know, he doesn't give them breathing space. He's always on top of them, punching them, you know, wearing them down, and that's how he wins his fights.
Do you think he could outbox Manny Pacquiao?
I don't think so. I don't know. Until sometimes you can't picture it. You can't picture it until it actually happens. It was like Canelo versus Golovkin. I just didn't know who would win that fight the second time or even the first time. I didn't know, because they're both so skillful fighters. You just don't know who's gonna. It's not like you can't. Although like you can say that Spence took out Garcia, Algieri quicker or something or whatever. But styles make fights. Pacquiao took out Hatton a lot quicker than Mayweather did, but we've seen what happened with Mayweather Pacquiao. So I just think it's down to styles. I think styles make fights, and to be honest, I don't think the Pacquiao Spence fight power will come into it as much, because I personally feel that'll come down to skills. Because I think they both have really good chins, and I don't think none of them have the power to knock each other out. There might be a couple of drop downs, but I don't think they'll knock each other out. That's at that level, to knock someone out clean is very hard. Most top level fights, you usually see them go the distance because they have that much skill to not get hit with a good flush shot like that.
Yeah, guys. So leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think. What do you make of our breakdown of the punching power? You know, it's hard to say who punches harder. Maybe Pacquiao in his prompt used to punch a lot harder, but neither guy right now is a one-punch knockout man. They both wear you down. Pacquiao gets a lot of points decisions. Errol Spence wears you down and then takes you out majority of his fights. But leave your thoughts, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.